Hello everybody and welcome to the Celtic Unrestricted View podcast. My name is Ryan Clifford and JP's on this week with us again this episode. Unfortunately JP with thanks Team Gerrard on, but he was busy supposedly we asked a bill and he couldn't come on, but he sent his regards saying that Andrew's doing a fantastic job and he's got Celtic back on track. Before he joined the game, he was a Celtic fan, wasn't he? So he's happy. But again, mate, stop with you, mate. I'm really sorry, mate. It's just me and you tonight, no Gerrard tonight. I'm sorry, but plenty to talk about, mate. Back to the real stuff. Lost County, mate, Saturday. McCarthy, rumours about McCarthy. I've not heard much the last year or two. I don't know if that was just early interest. I don't know, but the fact we did mention the fact he wasn't on the bench, was that a sign of things to come of the season, or was he maybe going away again? People might look into that too much, but me and you did mention it. They wasn't on the bench. He's on the bench and playing in pre-season. Then the league game starts, he's on the bench. So he kind of put two and two together. James Forrest didn't come on. Is that another sign of things to come? Obviously, I'll get a wee thing about the Martindale thing I like to talk about, but that'll be obviously near the end of the podcast. But as I say, mate, glad to have you on and against a nice sunny day in Glasgow again.
Aye, mate. What's this doing, mate? 2 Ronnies, man. We're getting good at this, aren't we? Practice makes perfect. Tuesday night we're on. We're getting a wee bit out of the Uncharted waters here. Thursday now, and we're 2 Ronnies back on a big screen. No, I'm gutted, mate. I was looking forward to Slippy G coming on to have a wee chat with us. And apparently he texted earlier on, didn't he, saying Tav does what Tav does on Tuesday night again. So that was nice to see as well. Aye, so back to the original Tavernier as we're all accustomed to. No, as I say, mate, James McCarthy, don't know. Obviously, it doesn't look good, does it? He wasn't part of the squad at the weekend there, and obviously he's not really done what we would have expected him. Whether that's down to the sheer quality and ability that we've got in the squad, or it's just down to the fact that maybe he's just getting on a wee bit with his career, his injuries have took over, and maybe he just can't do the training it's expected him up here. I don't know, right? But whatever reason, it's just not worked out for him. And it's a shame, but he joins a long list of many that must move on, my man. As in Big Jullien as well, no part of the squad. Obviously, 7 million a fee you've paid for the big man. Has he got a year or so left in his contract?
I don't know if this is just all rumours, but I think in January there was talk about Celtic, if he was going to stay to January, they were going to, I don't know if it's activating a new deal or they were going to give him a new deal just to try and get a fee for him. I don't know if that's just rumours. I don't know.
Well, you would think with a 7 million deal, you're paying out 7 million for a guy. You'd think he'd be sitting on a pretty hefty wage packet, salary wise. So I'd imagine Ange will probably want to clear the decks for that one, because you can't really afford to have a guy on high wages and he's either sitting in the stand or he's sitting in the house playing golf on the PlayStation or on a Nintendo Wii or whatever it is he wants to do. Maybe even watching Celtic TV. It's still quite an expensive layabout to leave kind of sitting about the place and no getting any appearance time or time on the pitch. So I'd imagine they'll be moving on to pastures new in the time being. There's still a few weeks to the window shut, so who knows. But it's all right us saying that these guys need to move on now. Clubs need to want to take these guys. I know it's not just as easy as moving the boys on, because you can move them on and where are you moving them on to if nobody's interested? Somebody needs to show a desire and will to take them off your hands. And so I'd imagine Ajeti probably falls into that bracket as well. So you're looking at guys that are probably on good wages, and McCarthy signed a 4-year contract last season. Now, I'm still of the belief, mate, that deep down I don't think Ange probably gave a go-ahead in the final say-so yet, hoping that it was going to be the James McCarthy that did show the James McCarthy in the Premier League when he was done there. Unfortunately, he's not managed to reach a height, so that deal was already happened in the background, in my opinion. So I think Ange knows now that when you see Aaron Moyes just on the door, Ryan, and he's on the bench, and then he gets brought on as one of the 5 subs as well at the weekend, I think that tells you a big story. It's obviously another big story there in terms of James Forrest not getting any minutes at all, and it was 5 subs to use. So, and instead of that, he brought on Leo Labada, and so maybe kind of gives you a slight indication of where a few players are at in terms of the choice and where the squad's sitting on it.
Definitely, mate. I would say that on Jullien, I think I put a tweet out a few weeks ago when he was meant to be leaving. On terms of the value, if we could do quite poor business for Celtic, sign a guy for £7 million and no really getting anything back for. I know there's rumours of 2-3 million, whatever, right? See, if you look at it, you've maybe had 2 maybe good years at Jullien, but the fact that you're no getting a profit off somebody who you're signing for big money, I don't know what you think, mate, but for me, you've got good, maybe 2 good years at him. You scored some good goals, made some important tackles. But to sign a guy for £7 million and no get anything back for that, that's when Celtic are always good for good business. Obviously, it stems on how injuries and form, but on the kind of onset of things, it's a poor bit of transfer business if you're not getting money back from. But again, that all goes from, I know it all stems from how well he's playing and injuries, but it's not really balancing the book side. It's not really that good, but I think it's maybe getting to the stage now where they just need to get him off of baseball. Because I think, again, I don't know the ins and outs of Celtic plus wages. The odd guy you hear about and you see, I'm sure there's somewhere where you can get it off anyway. I don't know really if it's Celtics, but I know there's certain teams you can see their wages on certain website stuff. But I think it must be on at least £300 a week. Must be to send for £7 million.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ajeti and Barkas, I think I've seen a rumour that 18-20 grand a week. So they guys who, if you're not playing and you're getting paid that amount of money, you've got to go somewhere. The club can't keep shelling out 20 grand a week to a guy who's not playing. Obviously, they need to do it because he's got a contract, but it's going to be like 20. Like, there you go, take it. But you're not getting the worth of the player. You know what I mean? I'm a big believer, like I've always says, that it's not a big believer. It's a fact that fans as well. I don't know if obviously some fans don't know the ins and outs of transfers. They think that maybe I want him, we want him. Why is he not signing? And we all know, we listen to William and other guys, that transfers can take weeks. They can take months. Like, there could be somebody want McCarthy now, but they might not be able to afford them to maybe January. So maybe that's already the pipeline, but we don't know about all that. So on Ajeti, Jullien and McCarthy, guys need to want these guys, like you says. It's not as simple as we don't want them, get rid. Unless they just put them in the youths and let them rot, which I think it may be harsh on McCarthy doing that, because I still don't think
they can now, but can they be ages and stuff? I don't think they're allowed to. I don't know if they can train with the youths or the B team, but they just can't play. I don't know how it works, but you can maybe be told not to come back and just go and train yourself. I'm sure they can do that as long as they're still paying you. I think that they can do that to you, but supposedly, for what I've heard from a few people that know McCarthy, supposedly Ange likes him, but he just doesn't fit the play and can't get him in. He just can't get him in. The thing is you've seen him, Ryan, so you see it yourself. You see that he just doesn't seem to want to make the impact that we all expect. You can see
he's got. See maybe like, I don't really want to be disrespectful and say a team of Scotland, but I'm just going to make this as a bit of a scenario. You can maybe say somebody like who's a bit more defensive in Scotland. Just say St Mirren, right? It could be an anchor man for St Mirren, just pass the ball about and just that's. But obviously, I'm talking about maybe a higher level. I don't know, even some of the championships like Sunderland or something. Just be an anchor man for them and play the passes and just keep the ball. McCarthy would do a job for them, they ball like that. But at Celtic, you're always going to be in the front foot. You're always going to be attacking. It's all right playing nice balls forward, but the way Celtic are playing, you can't stop. You can't just sit back and look about and play passes. You've got to be on the ball and make tackles and make things happen. And
that's Anne's mantra, mate. We never stop. So it's
and obviously, I've heard as well that supposedly McCarthy says that the train's amazing and he loves playing at the club. But I'm like you. I personally believe that. Again, this is just my opinion. I don't know if it's fact. So I'm not going to say it's a fact, but my opinion was that it was either an agent deal or it was Dermot Desmond, because we all know that Dermot Desmond's been wanting to get McCarthy for years. That's been well known. He's been on Celtic's list for years, since Hamilton days, basically.
He doesn't play with the tempo that we try and play with. And he's not got. It doesn't seem to be in his makeup now. Now, whether that be, as I said to you, previous injuries that are hindering him, or the fact that he's getting on a wee bit in age. He can't play the way Ange wants him to play quickly through the lines. See, when you compare him now, you look at Ajeti, even putting Ajeti into number 6, just the way Ajeti scans and the way he looks up and the way he plays at tempo, speed. O'Reilly, you've got to look at the boys and then have a look at McCarthy. He's no there, Brian. At the weekend, mate, he brought on Aaron Moy, and he's scanning. His first touch is to give hell a bit of room to look up. Played a great ball. I think was it Turnbull he picked out a great iron needle kind of pass. McCarthy's no. I know people are going like that, but Moy doesn't look fit. But he still looks about a yard or two even sharper than what McCarthy does when McCarthy plays. A lot of the things, even in pre-season when McCarthy was playing, it was just breaking down because I don't want to say poor decision making, but because he was making the wrong choices. And in terms of he was doing the wrong things, and the ball was just breaking down for him. I'm actually going to maybe stick my neck out in the line here. I know he's a bit of a freak accident, and I'm sorry to hear that. But in terms of Ideguchi, Ryan, I personally think Ideguchi's probably not going to make the grade now at Celtic, mate. Again, he's been here for January. He's had a couple of appearances. He got injured and then he came back. The team was just that good. He just couldn't get into the team. But for what I've seen him in pre-season, mate, he didn't really stand out much. And for me, mate, to go, do you know what? He's going to break into this team. I've just got that wee feeling, mate. I don't know if it's just through experience of watching Celtic and being involved with football, but I just don't think he's another one I think is going to. No, he's just going to stay static and maybe fall by the wayside. And it's the same because obviously I think the 4 of them have come off of Japan with a big sort of following and a big sort of, and he's the one that's kind of going to. I think he's the one out of the 4 of them, mate, that's going to fall away. Whereas the other 3 have just shone like a beacon. You know what I mean? They've showed what they're all about, and they've basically demonstrated that they've got talent and ability and sheer quality. Especially like Kyogo. And Hatati's unbelievable as well. And so is Maeda, and he's upright and everything. So
on Ideguchi, if anybody who follows the podcast or listens in, if you haven't...
By the way, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I don't mean that. I'm just saying I don't think he's going to make the grade at Celtic, which is a shame.
If anybody who follows the podcast listens in or watches it on YouTube and the platforms, if you haven't listened to any interviews with Dan Orowitz, there's 2 I've done with Dan. And the one where we signed Hatate, Kyogo and Ideguchi and Maeda, or kind of in the one, he mentioned the signings and he basically says that Ideguchi was probably maybe the one that might fail. No fail, but the one that might not be the standout. And he says he might be because of Maeda and Kyogo and Hatate will do well. Because Kyogo signed first, it was when Hatate, Maeda and Ideguchi signed January. He says he might be the one that might not do as well. He says so that might be the one that the fans won't really bother that he's got wrong because he's got they 2 perfectly well. Because they 2, he says, he did say that Hatate and Maeda would be brilliant. He did say that. He did say they will be probably 2 more than Ideguchi. So if anybody who wants to go back and kind of listen to that and get adjusted what Dan was saying, and it's maybe again due to injuries you can't adjust too much, but maybe he was right, JP as well. That for me, everything Dan says about the guys has been spot on. Everything about the way they play, and again, if that is really what he did say, Ideguchi might be. No, the flop. He didn't say flop. He didn't say failure. He just said maybe out of the 3, no the one that made the big impact right away. It might have been longer time with Ideguchi, which could happen. Like you said with Alston, and maybe with me, Greg Taylor's done a bit well. He's a bit better now. Again, I'm admitting that. I know. I'm sorry, Greg. You're fucking doing well, mate. Keep it up.
Don't give us a bit. Don't give us a bit, Will. Come on. He's turned into Roberto Carlos, man.
He's turned into fucking Philip Lam, isn't he, man?
Aye. By the way, he was on Sunday, but he was there at the right on side as well as the left on side. Aye, so he's...
But I get you, mate. He's going to find, for me, like as I say, Hatate, O'Reilly, Ideguchi, and McGregor's probably the four you'll pick for that he'll deal. McGregor's probably going to always play. Hatate's probably going to always play. Maybe O'Reilly and Turnbull that might swap and change. But for me, O'Reilly's, again, it's very hard. Turnbull should be in the team, but it's hard to put him in the team because O'Reilly's a standout now.
Well, there's a wee debate in itself. So if you're going to play David Turnbull, who, in my opinion, this Celtic team right now, the best three we've got is McGregor, O'Reilly, and Hatate. The way they work together is unbelievable. And I noticed it even more on Sunday. The interchanges and the movement and the crossovers between Hatate and O'Reilly. I mean, Hatate can actually, see if you watch Hatate now, he can cover every blade of fucking grass it's there. He gets his shell about the pitch and he's so agile and so fit. It's frightening. O'Reilly, he picks up some really good areas on the pitch. He picks up some really good positions and he reads the game amazingly. And McGregor. I mean, McGregor for me is fucking Rolls Royce. You know my feelings on Callum Ryan anyway. But in terms of Ideguchi, Scottish football, mate, it's a wee bit physical, blah, blah. I mean, he's built on the side of a fucking fiver. Come on. And that alone is going to hinder him a wee bit if he's up against boys that are going to be physical. Because he's going to get bounced into the middle of next month. That's probably how it's so easy for him to get injured. Because there's nothing less. I mean, he's built like jokey. No, I mean, there's nothing to him.
Be Frankie Dettori, middle of the park.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, aye, okay, people say we thin guys and weird guys have got lower centre of gravity. Aye, they have, but they're dead easy pushed off the ball. Because they don't have any sort of frame or any... I mean, very seldom do you ever see a guy built like that, being able to shove somebody off the ball. Like fucking, I don't know.
The only three guys I know... Two are Celtic and one's for me Hazard. He's built what he's fucking that big arse he has. He's phenomenal what he does. For me, Gary Hooper done it at Celtic when he was at Celtic. And Scott
Gary was stocky, but no.
And Scott McDonald. Aye, but they're the only three guys I would say that used a frame when they were small to their advantage. But I get
Scott McDonald was good at that, no. Scott McDonald was very good at that.
That goal at Ibrox just summed it up.
Well, that was perfect, but. They kind of guys are every few years, like, and they're all like far and few between. Like, we're in the Champions League groups, right? For them that actually doesn't know that, we're in the Champions League group stages. I know the media up here probably wouldn't believe that right enough, but
we're not qualifying, we're no maybe getting there.
No, we're not qualifying, we're no Hamish, we're no half in, half out kind of stuff, know what I mean? We're in. We're actually there, we're sitting with cigars waiting on the draw happening. 3 weeks a day the draws and we're in that draw. So I know that's going to disappoint a few people, but it's reality. So shit happens, as they say.
I think disappoint, mate. It's a bit like me. It's more disappointing. They're not happy.
No, I know, but I'm
just balanced.
I'm in a good mood today, mate. I'm actually trying to be nice.
Fucking let rip, man.
No, I'm in a good mood. I don't want to start. We've only got a certain amount of time for us.
It's the sunshine, mate. It brings you happiness.
The sunshine puts a smile on everybody's face. Also does other things to people, but we'll not go there. That's for another thing. There we go. We're having that much a good time. I've even forgot where I was. No. So Ideguchi, right? You picture Ideguchi playing up the side. The big boy just went to Real Madrid for Monaco. Big boy Tchouaméni. It's just a non-contest, man. The big boy would just swallow him whole. Even the big boy Camavinga, who looks like a big lumpy lad. And then you've got other big boys like Rudiger, Koulibaly. You picture these guys at corners up against Ideguchi. They're going to be like, I'll put the road you, wee man. And they'd be looking at him as if they say, what are you doing? You stand up when I'm talking to you. Do you know what I mean? One of the ones. because the height difference between them, the size difference between him and the actual body makeup of him is totally night and day. That's what I mean in terms of, I don't think he's, for a couple of reasons, it's not because he's a bad football player. He's actually no bad, he's tidy. But to suit the Scottish game, I just don't think he's going to get enough time to get that game time to suit the Scottish game, because right now I can't see him playing before McGregor. I can't see him playing before Ajeti. I can't see him playing before O'Reilly. And I can't see him playing before Turnbull. So I just don't know where he would fit into the team. That's what I mean when I say that.
Probably only maybe a cup game, or maybe if you're playing after a hard game on Thursday and somebody needs a rest or whatever. I think that's
We'll be playing on Thursdays this year, mate.
No, sorry. Wednesdays or Tuesdays, sorry. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about
You need to get used to saying it, mate. Come on.
Let's be fair, right? We've been playing Europa League. It's very hard. It's got to take a few weeks to get used to it, innit?
Well, that's somebody that's setting their ways, that.
Aye, but let's be fair. We've been setting our ways, know them very well. So let's hope it's in the Champions League.
You can swing it the other way and say it was only a couple of years ago under Lennon, mate. We beat Lazio twice and won the group.
And let's be fair, we've not just won one game away from home in fucking 14 years, so.
No, exactly. Of course. Other people would like you to believe another story, but like I says, mate, that's what happens up here.
Aye, and they let you believe that they're far ahead in the coefficient.
Aye, and there's a game of pass the parcel happening for titles up here as well. And
aye, pass the parcel. I thought postmen deliver parcel to every door, but not winning leagues every.
What's the sum amount of DHL lads running about Parkhead every season, eh?
Every 10 years you win a league, you know what I mean? But that's what you fancy, lads. By the way. But I get you.
Last time they won a title, man, the courier, the pigeon courier still trying to get there nowhere.
Oh man.
What about 15 branches in the way here?
That says me up here. We know what it's like, mate. But I know right, but sometimes you just need to mention it. But I do agree with you on the Gucci, mate. I don't think he's going to get the game time, no, because he's no good enough. I just think the way we are playing, I don't think Ange's going to change the midfield much unless it is going to be a European night. And then obviously maybe away to Ross County or something, maybe change it and freshen it up a bit. But again, if he's going to be away for 3 or 4 weeks again, he's 3 or 4 weeks behind in his fitness at the start.
Apparently it was a right nasty gash he gave his cellmate in the heart of mannequin training.
He's that good, mate. He's hitting mannequins training.
What's that, mate? Once you bore that much, he's tackling mannequins now.
Mate, no, I'll give him his due, and that's the attitude we want. Tackle mannequins, that's what you want. So
no, that's it. Tackle mannequins. They're off a static mannequins. He was man marking them.
But I do agree with you, Gucci, mate. And McCarthy, I've always rated McCarthy. I just think it's maybe he's unlucky to come to Celtic now, and maybe not a few years ago when he was the £13 million player that Everton signed, because he was good with Everton, just injuries again. It's just unfortunate players. That's what people as well. No, I think just football fans in general. I think because guys are injured all the time that they're bad players. People are going to probably shoot me down for this, right? And the only player, I'm just bringing this as a scenario because I did like him as a player, but injuries fucked him. And people are going to go, he was shite, you're full of shite. I think he was very good with Ajax, and it's Derby Richter, right? He's a scenario I'm going to put in here, right? He didn't do well with Celtic, but see his debut, he was superb, right? And injuries just didn't happen from injuries. He was fucked. He couldn't get in the team, and he was training with the fucking youths, and injuries fucked him, right? But you don't play with Ajax in the Champions League if you're shite. I know people you go to certain cups, it just doesn't happen for you. That's as simple as that. Let's say I know you're laughing, but Ajeti is not done well for us.
No, I'm actually just laughing because of a flash in the pan.
I'm just talking for a scenario, right?
I get it.
Ajeti might go to Sunderland and he might bang the goals in because that Sunderland might suit him. He's just no suited the way to play Celtic play. He's not, for me, he's a guy that I love this guy, that's Hooper, right? But he's a similar style, I would say. He's got to have the ball at his feet, right? Gary Hooper's not going to run fucking channels all the way around. He's not going to run the channels. He's one. Someone like McDonald had the ball in late half and spin down. That was the way I thought Ajeti was going to be like. It's just no turned out like that. Because you see him in Basel, everything was on the box, similar to the box. It was never running down the channels, and him and Elanucci done really well with Basel. That's why I thought he's decent here. Done well with Basel. Basel's no the Premier League, but the top of the Swiss League, scoring goals, decent. He's done okay, and then the Champions League, I think, with Basel as well. So that's what I thought when him and Elanusi were signed. Elanusi signed, he signed. I've like, they'll do well, but again, didn't work out, mate. But I think he'll go as well. Jullien, McCarthy, the Gucci, they're probably four that I can probably think that might go. Obviously, we're not back to the bid for Welsh. Probably on hindsight, as it stands now, we can't sell him unless we bring somebody in. But Ange rates him, unless we fairly played okay at the weekend. Maybe okay.
Scored a good goal, no?
Maybe okay is when a bit maybe harsh on him. I think he probably did play well. And obviously his goal was a good goal. But again, I'm not going to jump the bandwagon, mate. That's how I start him now. He's got to, same with Greg Taylor, they've set the bar now. We've got to continue. Yeah. And if Stephen Welsh, like, we all rate Starfelt now, right? But if Stephen Welsh continues to play well, Starfelt's a back burner. You can't drop Welsh if he's playing well.
The fact is, Starfelt started the season behind anyway, so he's obviously he's got an injury, and then so he is going to have, and isn't the type to just pick him, pull him out of the team and put him in. Especially the defence. I think he's been on record saying that before, Ryan. He doesn't like to change the two defenders that much. It's the same with Big Jens. I know he's going to need to bide his time, but the chance will come for them to play. And as I say, it's up to them then to grab his jersey and make sure the manager doesn't want to get away too early and too quickly.
I just think that we need to get some of the, I don't want to say dead wood, right, but I'm going to say, because that's the only word I can think of, right? It might be a bit disrespectful.
That's the saying, but that's what people say. That's what everybody says.
Let's just say fringe players, guys are not going to play. You need to get some of the wages out, because I think fans like, who was it we had on, and they said, who was it that says? I can't remember who we had on. Oh, it was Joe, sorry, when I spoke to Joe. Fans don't like the word balancing the books, but we need to balance the books. We've spent nearly £20 million, I think, all in, including wages. So, give or take, you need to balance the book somehow. You need to sell, because you can't just buy and no sell, or no let guys go. So I think there will be some incomings, maybe one incoming, maybe two, maybe at a push. But I think there might be 2 or 3 outgoings, either loans, like Ajeti Jullien. He wasn't in the squad either, so I don't know if he was in the match day squad, but he wasn't in the
I don't think he was on the bench, right? No,
I don't know if he was picked for his full squad, but I know he wasn't in the bench.
I think he is on his road out, because Ange says it, there's pressure. They're working with Mikey now to try and find him the right move so that he can get away and get game time. So I do think he's on his road out to go.
Like, obviously turns to Ross County, mate. I think it will be tough. They've obviously recruited very well. The last game up there, obviously, I know we won near the end of the season, but the last game up there, when about the Christmas time, it was with Ralston, last minute winner. Again, that was a tough game. I'm expecting a tough game, but I think we've not really stoked for last year. But I noticed anyway about Aberdeen. We didn't, people might think I'm talking shite, but from my view, watching the game on Sunday, I don't think we came out a third year. I really didn't. Aberdeen had 1 or 2 wee sniffs, but I just think we played through the emotions in the first half. The first 15 minutes, we just lost a bit ourselves. But then the second half, we seen the game out and we get the second goal. I just thought it was no easy sleep, but it was comfortable. Aberdeen didn't really face too much, and then Johnny Hayes had the chance. Apart from that, it was only really clear-cut chance when we broke the sub-zone, and it kind of gave us a bit more. So you're maybe expecting that Saturday. If it's not going our way, we're not winning the game, you've got guys to bang on. If it is going to be your Moyes, your Tumbles, your Abadas, like it was at the weekend. So plenty of options, mate, to obviously to go with Saturday. I think it's basically a full fit squad, apart from either Gucci and Starfelt maybe back training. The Angel will be fit, I think. So you've roughly got a fully fit squad to pick for with your main guys anyway, your main suitors. I'm going to go with, I think Jackie Marcus might start, mate. I think Kyogo might be on the bench. Again, that's just what I think. I think Jackie Marcus, the game's maybe for him, because I think it will be physical. Ross County will try and kick us off the park, I think. Even though they can play a bit, with Malcolm McKay's going to play a wee bit, I think we'll try to ruffle his. It's always a battle when you play at Inverness, Ross County, up that way, it's always a bit of a battle. But the first thing I want to talk about on that is, mate, is non-TV. 3 o'clock kick-off away from home on a Saturday. That doesn't happen very often. It's always at 12:30 or 12 o'clock. It's on Sky.
Yep.
They've took away some of the tickets. They've gave it to corporate, so fans can't go. It's no on telly. You need to go in the tune, or you need to pay for
Celtic TV.
Celtic TV or IPTV if you can afford it. Cost of living again. So why are they not doing something like this? Like we've said before, why can we not get I don't know if there is an SPFL TV. I don't think there is, right? I tell you where there's a camera and you pay maybe, I don't know, a donation every month or a monthly package or a yearly package. I think I said a yearly package. Just say you pay 50 quid a year or whatever it is, if it's just whatever, and you get every game. Home and away, you get to watch every game. If you know a season bit colder, you can watch the game for a price. It's not going to cost you too much money, but make it reasonably priced where you can, if it's a £5 a game or you pay what you want to watch. You can pay a £5 for you want to watch a game, or maybe if you want to watch the 4 games a month or 5 games a month, you pay 20 quid. Just a package to make things better for fans that can't watch a game, because like you says, not everybody can go to games because these tickets are getting less and less, and it's making people having to go and spend money as well to go and watch it in the pubs. They're going to buy juice, they're going to buy pints. It's going to be more money than just watching a game. So there must be a way where the fans can get. It's not even just Celtic fans. It could happen to Rangers, Aberdeen. It could happen to anybody. Same at Partick Thistle in Dundee last week. 24 quid to watch Dundee and Partick Thistle. That's shambolic. That, for me, that's ridiculous. And I know that Dundee have just come down. They want to get more money.
What was that on the pay-per-view?
No, it was 24 to go to the game.
Or to go to the game, right? And the in-house ticket sales was £24.
And then, but they're only going to open. They're only going to. I'm sure I've seen they're only going to let you buy it online or at the gate. You have to buy your tickets.
Wow.
But I think you had to buy it. Well, sorry, well, obviously I had to buy it online, but there was no pay at the gate. But then because there was complaints, they opened the gate for people, fans to do it. So
wow.
I'm saying, right? So you're a Partick Thistle fan, right? Go to Dundee's about an hour and a half, an hour rough, give or take. You've got to pay your buses. Then see you've got kids. You're buying pints, juices, fruit shoots, crisps, programmes, the wee way wants a flag, wants a scarf, travel up and down, and you're £24 a ticket. You'd at least 60, 70 quid and you only watch it. I guess I played the Partick Thistle, I've no offence, but you're watching a championship game. You're not watching Celtic, you're not watching Rangers, you're not watching the cream of the cream. You're watching a championship game. An extra £3 or £4 you're watching Celtic, again, no offence, a better quality match at Parkhead. You're paying, obviously, let's be fair, the pie's not a deal, right? But if you want to just go and watch the game and you don't buy anything, if you're going yourself, I don't always buy a pie of bottle, you just go yourself. £27, £28 to watch a better quality game. It's a fucking no-brainer. I'd rather go and pay an extra £3 to go and watch Celtic play.
But then if you're a Partick Thistle supporter, and then
but £24, but
I know, it's carnage. That is absolutely
but a championship level. But I understand Dundee. I understand Dundee what they're doing. They're going to get money back somehow. But they're not going to follow their grunt by charging £24. You're better off charging £15 and maybe having a kid free with it. And that guy or a female will take their daughter or their son or their cousins, whatever, to the game because they're getting that. Or do you know what? It's £15. I'll take wee Charlie or whoever for fuck all.
Who's the team that have applied to the council and they've managed to get free match day travel for their fans? Is it Thistle?
It's Thistle. They've got it.
So that's what they're doing. Then they're getting you free bus travel, so you don't pay for bus fare.
So
but then they're robbing you at the other side with the money for the gate. So
Thistle are working with First Bus, I think. So if you show your season book or your match ticket, you get it for free. But why can all clubs not do that?
They should be working with the credit union to help them get their fans into their stadium, man, so that the fans can all get loans to pay for that fee to get them in stadiums. Because
it happens in Germany. I'm sure Dortmund, Munich, if you show your match,
you're allowed free travel. Well, in Germany it's different, Ryan, because in Germany right across the board, all Air Germany, the part of the city, it's free travel on match days, so it doesn't matter. But if you're going to a Bundesliga game, it's free travel, but you must show your ticket. So as long as you've got your Leverkusen, but see Dortmund and that, Ryan, I know this was only 2 years ago. And one of my mates was telling us that it was €135 for a year for a season book at Bayern Munich.
What? And that's a decent.
€135.
Is that a decent price sheet or no?
Aye, that's like in the main, just say like the main stand or whatever. €135. It's €8 to pay in at the door at Dortmund.
Is that a fact, aye?
Aye. My mate, one of my mates, that boy I used to play football with, he went there about 2 years ago to go and see one that just took in just to take in a game. Went for a swally to take in one of the games. €8 the guy took off from the gate in the turnstiles. €8. Frightening. Totally night and day away. We're miles away, mate. Miles away up here. Miles away. I don't know who does the prices up here, but they need to have a serious, long, hard look at ourselves, man, and reevaluate what they're doing, because they're just conning fans galore. In terms of Ross County, mate, I've heard Ross County have altered all the clocks, mate, so they only go to 90 plus 4 minutes, I think it is. So if there's any 5 minutes, the referee's not allowed to, apparently the ref's not allowed to play on anymore. And once it gets to the 4 minutes, the watch sets off an alarm and sends a shock up the referee's arm so that he knows it's 94 minutes and that's him past his curfew. Just in case they get any more late scorings with Anthony Ralston, you know. But no, it's always quite hard, mate. I know we made it look easier the last time we were up there. We beat them, was it 2-0? We beat them. Kyogo and Jota.
That's right, aye.
It's not an easy place to go at the best of times, mate. So, aye. That and the one the week later, it's kind of, they're the ones I'm thinking to myself, you don't want to say banana, but anything can happen, mate, do you know what I mean? But there's potential there. You come through the 2 games and it's impressive, do you know what I mean? Especially if you come through them unscathed. Especially with the run of games we've got coming after that. After that, we've got Hearts, and then we've got the United. We've also got Ross County again in the Cup. Then we've got the mob for across the water. So we've got a kind of good run of games coming. I think the already games take place before we even play a game in the Champions League as well. So we'll have a few games under my belt by the time we get to the group stages there. But no, it'll be stuffy, mate. I'd imagine Ross County they'll be wanting to get after a flyer because they get beat at the weekend, don't they? So they'll be trying to get their season started as well. So every game's going to be hard now. The product and everything in terms of Scottish football, I think it's improved tenfold. I think I've said it before to you, mate. I do think this might be very competitive this season in terms of, you look at the player product they've got now in the team and the league. Dundee United, they've signed a host of new players. Big Australian goalkeeper, Australian left back, Stephen Fletcher, they brought a boy Levitt from Man U permanently. They've just brought in a boy McGrath, a cracking sign. Boy, it was at St Mirren, went to Wigan, and now he's back up here in loan. It's not worked out for him. They're a good player again. He's went to Wigan, it's just not worked out. We'll talk about that a minute ago with McCarthy. So things like that do happen, mate. Doesn't mean you're a bad player. It just means certain clubs just don't. When you go there, it just maybe doesn't suit you. You don't fit in, or whatever happens. It's happened up here. Look at Charlie Masonda. Could go through.
Bangura,
Freddie Lundberg, Juninho.
I don't know if Bangura was a good player. I'm just saying that.
Bangura, big boy Bio. He's just went to Watford for $5 million. The big boy Sadiq, that was there at them across the bar. Apparently he's supposed to be going to Borussia Dortmund for $30 million, you know what I mean? It's just totally beyond me. The football world's went mental, mate. You look at I'm not saying the boy's not a good player, but James Maddison for Leicester's reported they'd be going to Newcastle were interested for any sum between 40 to 55 million quid. Football's just went absolutely mental.
I do rate Madison, but like you say, the sums are nuts. Like Big John
Hughes. That's
the
thing, Ryan. I mean, Newcastle aren't even in Europe, mate, and they're paying that kind of sum for a player. That just shows you where football's went to now. It's went bizarre. It's crazy. Football's went mental. Man United paid 85 million quid for Harry Maguire. Better with Jerry Maguire. Absolute murder.
As I said last week, you're about to fucking Meanie Maguire at the back.
That's what I mean. Exactly. Paddy Maguire.
Fucking big maybe fucking make you shit yourself. I mean, Maguire.
Definitely.
But that's what.
But no, in terms of Ross County, I'm looking forward to the weekend and all. But it's shocking, mate. The game's not even being televised because you've got the game at Ibrox at 3:00, and then our game's at 3:00 and all. It's very unheard of, mate. You don't normally get that. And again, Sky's supposed to be, they won the tender for Scottish football, and yeah, again, as it would appear that their interest lacks every time. Because if realistically, mate, if you look at that in terms of Celtic are normally an early kick-off, whether it be a Saturday or a Sunday for that fixture to play Ross County away from home. Instead, they've put us at 3:00 in the day. Why, I don't know. It's totally beyond me. I'll never understand it as to why. And as you said, it's the fans have got to suffer again, because they're going to have to, if they're not going to the game, then they're going to have to make plans in order to go and see the game, whether it be somebody's house, the boozer, and a tune somewhere. It's absolute crazy. And then as you said as well, that comes at an extra cost to who? Because it's not as if Sky are saying, "Oh, do you know what? We're sorry we never put it on the telly. But see we do something or whatever, you go and watch a game, you buy a meal, you buy that. Keep the receipt because we'll then." I know that's astronomical and it's mental. That would never happen. But I'm just saying, even the clubs getting together and saying, like, we need to give something back to the fans. It's at 3:00 on a Saturday afternoon. No thought given for the travelling support either, who need to travel all the way up there for a 3:00 kick-off and then travel all the way down the road. So they're probably not going to get into that. Could look for it between 8:00 upwards at night time on a Saturday night. Shocking, man. Maybe even later, actually. I'm thinking the game's at 3. The game finishes at 3:30 there. No, the game's at 3. It's not finishing to back at 5 time you get out of the place. And you're down the road, you're talking between 11:00 to midnight time you're down the road, mate. Shocking. It's absolutely on a Saturday night. That's terrible, mate. Shocking.
Like I say, they've got to
have a look at yourselves.
It shouldn't take me and you or other fans to talk about SPFL packages or.
But I think that's a great idea, mate. I
really don't know why. See, even if it's a tenner a week and you get to see the 2 games or something, I don't know. And just say a $5 goes to the club and a $5 goes to the SPFL or $2.50 each. I know that sounds stupid. I'm just talking as a scenario. It could be 20. I don't know. Just say a tenner a week you pay for 2 of the games. $2.50 to Celtic, $2.50 to Ross County, a $5 goes to the SPF, the SFA or something. I don't know how it would work, but I'm just talking. There must be something you can do to help fans, not really Celtic Rangers fans, but the lesser fans as well. Because let's be fair, some of Ross County, Aberdeen, because the Celtic Rangers only give them a small bit, they can't go to the game either. So it's the same as us Rangers fans. Well, it's their fucking fault anyway. When we're going to Ibrox, it's on Sky Sports, but you're knocking off 6,000-7,000 fans that can't go to the game because you've been fucking petty. All this is going to change. If it's not because they were Celtic fans and Rangers fans.
But all the clubs have jumped to. They've jumped on the gravy train along, mate, and have started cutting tickets for all the other teams as well.
It's like Hearts only get 1,000 fans now or something. But it's causing. They might get some of the fans back, but.
Hearts early last season or so, they are filling Tynecastle with their own fans now. So
I just think there's got to be some compromise to get fans into stadiums cheaper and more, as you say, better time-wise as well. Like you say, Celtic fans, let's be fair, most people who got away games are drinking, they're going to be mango, getting home at 11, 12 o'clock. I know that's their choice to do that, but it's the same with Rangers as well. You're getting the 2 Celtic the champions, you're getting the team who's second best, 2 teams, the cream of your Scottish football, playing at the same time. But see, you wanted to watch, say you're a neutral, and you just like football, and you want to watch your 2 best teams in Scotland. You can't unless you're at fucking 2 tellies or fucking 4 computers.
Aye.
It's or you've got Premier Sports, Sky Sports, Virgin. You've got to have, that's the thing, you've got to have all this now to watch fucking football. Cup games in Premier Sports, Celtic Rangers games, Sky Sports, fucking BT Sports don't have it anymore, but they used to. It's fucking Champions
They've
League.
still got the Champions League. They have BT and European games.
So there you go. So us, we've got to watch Premier Sports.
Then Premier Sports for the 2 cups as well.
Sky Sports and BT. And then we've got the games as well. I know you're saying that's your choice, but there must be something that they can do. But again, mate, we can talk about this all day on our podcast. But like you says, Ross County, it's got to be a tough game, I think. I do think we'll win the game. You're always confident going win. Celtic now. I think you will play Jack and Marcus. I think but I don't think the team will change much apart for that. I can't see Welsh getting dropped after his performance. Again, Bernabeu, I can't see him coming in for Greg Taylor. I think it might just stay the same, mate. But again, the only thing you could say that he could maybe play Turnbull because he did come on and play well. But like John Hartson says, O'Reilly, if James Madison's gone for 50 million, sell it, I've got to go, oh, right in. He's fucking 40, he's 50 million because I do believe Matt O'Reilly is going to go to the top. He's fantastic. He's no flashy, but it just reminds me of Tom Rogic. Just reminds me of Tom Rogic, JP.
But he's faster.
Aye. I know on a topic that we've seen this week, mainly from me, David Martindale, obviously I put a tweet up and it blown up. Didn't expect it to. I just put it up because I didn't think it was right. Two Rangers fans were saying I wasn't well and all that, and I look normal. Aye, boys, I'm well and I'm normal. I'm supporting the champions. I'm fucking brand new. I'm all happy. But take your biases aside. Nobody is grasping the point that what I'm trying to make. And I'll say to you, like yourself, people who I speak to, they're all agreeing with what I'm saying. It's not because he's David Martindale. It's not because he's a Rangers fan outside of football. It's what he's went on to. You're the Livingston manager, right? This is what I want. JP, you've agreed with me. This is what I'm trying to put across here. You're a Livingston manager. You're competing in the same league as obviously Rangers, right? You've just played them, i.e. the podcast might have been before it. And I know the podcast was made about coaching and managing, but it did mention about Rangers and Celtic and his post-match comments about wee Tav and wee Scotty. It was like he was in the circle. Listen, what Dave Martindale's done in his career, for what happened to him, getting up to through his career, he's at Livingston now, he's doing, but listen, hats off to the guy, he's making a career for himself, fantastic. I'd happily listen to him talk about coaching and management on a football podcast, like if it's Clyde or BBC Sports Sound or fucking Under the Closh or whatever, but Rangers podcast, shouldn't we going to listen to that? No, but the point was, you've just been beat off a team you're competing against in your league. And you're going on a fans podcast of that team. How do people not think that that's unprofessional? I can't grasp this. Like I say, right, I'll mention him. I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning him, right? William, who's on the podcast, right, works in Motherwell. Can't go on the podcast anymore because he works in Motherwell and that's their policy. So, sure, that should be the same with every SPFL club. Surely Livingston PR wouldn't be happy with that. You've just been beat off your team and then you go on a fans podcast. See if it was in mainstream media. Fine. The only gripe I had was see if Livingston won the championship. By the way, you're not competing in the same league as him. You've got nothing to do with that league. Go and talk about a bit of Rangers that you're a fan or your coach and that's fine. Brilliant. But no, when you're still in the league competing against that team, that's like I said, that's like Graham Alexander came on our podcast. I don't even know, sorry. Here's a good example. Malcolm McKay, Jim Goodwin, right? They came on our podcast after getting beat off of us, talking about management and their career and how they're supported Celtic. No, it wouldn't happen. And I wouldn't put them in that situation for them to do that because that's just no right. I'm not want to talk about all night, but I just want to get what my tweet was about and how people can't grasp how that doesn't look unprofessional. I'm not saying that for me it was wrong. Just my opinion. I think it's wrong. Do it when maybe you're not in the league or you're away for Scottish football. Fire away. But it was just the principle of going on a fans podcast. After that, I'm not saying the podcast was bad, but he done as in talking about his career and all that. That's brilliant about Scottish football, but it was just the fact of how it was done after. I know that might be done before the game, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if people can't grasp JP how they didn't think that was a bit wrong. I don't know.
A lot of people, when decisions are made by people that we support and people that we watch on TV, and things happen, a lot of people seem to become hysterical at the choices that people make, and they start to say things that sometimes it doesn't make sense, and sometimes it does. Other people don't fully understand what they're meaning. In terms of David Martindale, if I was a Livingston supporter, I wouldn't be very happy, first and foremost. I would then be asking the club why they've allowed or sanctioned our manager to go into a fellow top flight club's fans podcast to talk about the rival club that my team would be going up against in the season. Doesn't matter what it's about. Don't care. I couldn't care less what it was about. But I'd be wanting to know what was so important for him to go on that podcast today. Now, it's well renowned that he's obviously a Rangers supporter, and he's admitted to that himself. So that then leads me to believe that him himself should be aware of how that looks so disrespectful and how that looks as the Livingston manager. He was well just sticking two fingers up to him, because that's exactly what he's doing anyway. People, when you said it the other day, people got caught up in it all and started to, I don't want to say point score, but they started bringing up other scenarios where other fellow Scottish Premiership managers have attended Celtic games with family. That's night and day. That is totally fucking night and day, mate, for going on a fans podcast and speaking about how good that other team are. Calling that team's players by nicknames. Like, as if you're part of their wee circle, as if you're one of their jolly boys that jump about with them every other weekend. That's very disrespectful, mate, in my opinion. Especially what he done on Saturday as well. They just lost the game, and he's on Sky TV, Sky Sports doing his post-match interview, and he calls a couple of their players by a nickname. And see when he was saying it, Ryan, it's not only that. When he was saying it, you could see the enjoyment on his face, the smile, just like you've done there, mate. You could actually see he was more or less gloating in the fact that they done well and scored the goals that they scored. Now, again, mate, as a Livingston fan, if I had saw that, I wouldn't be happy. But then surely, if Livingston surely that's down to Livingston then to deal with it accordingly. And if he's been on a rival supporters, I'm going to call it that, because regardless of what team David Martindale supports, he's been on a rivals supporters podcast talking about the rivals. Now, for David Martindale now to come out and say, do you know what, it doesn't matter, I was doing this, I was doing that, that's fucking easy to say after you've been caught doing it. Because anybody can do that. We could all make up something and then go, oh, I didn't do that. And it's dead easy to try and get out of that and hide away from that fact. But see if he's done it, just go at that. I done it, it probably wasn't the best of decisions, but I'm sorry. But no, that's not what he said. But like I says, mate, I find it totally baffling how people can't understand how that looks as a professional.
See,
if you're a professional manager at the top flight in Scottish football, mate, and you go on to another team in the league's fans podcast and talk to them about how good that team are, the team that's against yous, surely there's a conflict of interest there somewhere. Surely that's Like,
I just don't.
So then that you then leave yourself open to severe
That's what I'm saying. That's how I just think it's.
So it's madness.
I know. I'll mention it, right, because we all know John Goodwin's a well-known Celtic fan, but he goes and watches Celtic. Listen, most managers in Scotland are going to support Celtic or Rangers, and most people in Scotland, right? See, you can go and support, take your kids, take your family. You're going to watch a game of football. You could be scouting. You're going to watch a game of football. He went a cup final. That's his job. But as a Celtic, see, Dave Martin wants to go to a Rangers game on a Sunday and his day off or whatever. Go support your team. But you see, when you're as a man, you're representing your club.
Yeah.
People.
I necessarily, personally, mate, I want to clear this up and out. I don't have a problem with what David Martindale's done. That's fair enough. But it just, what I'm trying to say is, unfortunately, David Martindale's in a circle where he's in a bubble where he's a top flight manager in Scottish football. So he leaves himself open to severe criticism and questions in order to do the decision of what he's done. And unfortunately, if he doesn't like it, then he shouldn't leave himself open to the whole thing all along. Me personally, couldn't give a monkey's what he does. I don't care what team he supports. I don't care, but I do feel for if I was a Livingston fan, then I probably wouldn't be too happy, mate. I'd feel aggrieved that he. How do then you expect? Then comes the questions of when David Martindale goes up against that team, what decisions are then made on a match day? He then leaves himself open to a lot of possibilities and scenarios, mate. That
I don't.
He should just avoid and be professional and say, you know what? As a Rangers fan, guys, I would love to do it. Unfortunately, I'm in a position I can't.
But I'll tell you what
I'll do. I'll tell you what I'll do. When it's a close season, I'll be happy to come on and talk to you about coaching and whatever else, but I can't talk to you about Rangers. But that's not what we're led to believe has happened. What we're led to believe has happened. He's been on and actually praised how good they were. He was talking about how he was at the West Ham game and Rangers looked frightening. They looked as if they were in a different world. He used words of that language. And I'm sorry, mate, but again, as a Livingston fan, hearing that off him, I wouldn't be chuffed, mate. I would be going, do you not think it's more important to be on a fucking training field trying to get us to win games? Because we've just lost our opening game of the season to a team who you seem to be great satisfaction about talking about a couple of their players when you were being interviewed about it. Because when he was asked the question, mate, the enjoyment on the guy's face, mate, you can't hide that, Ryan. I don't care what anybody says. You can't hide that. That's on Sky TV, mate. That's on a thing that you're being shown all in the fucking world. So that's not something that you can hide. And to see that as a Livy fan, should you be a Livingston fan, I can understand how anybody would feel aggrieved by that.
I just had to put it
me
up,
personally,
but
I don't care what he's done. I'm only trying to more or less
professional side.
To let you know, I understand your point and I understand stood the other day where he came from. And obviously, I think what he's done is wrong. I think what he's done is unprofessional. And I think what he's done is slightly disrespectful to Livingston. Football club and the supporters.
I just had to explain the tweet, mate, because people aren't grasping why. It wasn't because I'm a Celtic fan or fucking Rangers get beat or whatever, or Rangers won or whatever. I just put the point across and explain the tweet. But, mate, on obviously, quite a sadder note, obviously, the news of John Hughes, rest in peace, John, passed away this week. A legend of the club, obviously, a part of the Lisbon Lions. I know it was well before my time, but he was classed as great by many fans, obviously being a part of that squad. Yep. I think it was over 200 appearances or 400 appearances roughly, I think, for the club. All in, a lot of goals. He's probably in the likes of your greats at Celtic, talked about as the greats.
Yep.
Part of the best of our squad maybe we've had, because he obviously won in that. I didn't actually know he wasn't well. It was news to me when I heard it on Twitter. Thoughts with his family and his friends at this sad time, and I hope obviously that they can get some comfort from the Celtic family or the best wishes. I know we've all been through it in life. It's very hard to take anything from it because obviously what happened, but I hope they can take some comfort from knowing that the fans are thinking about him and his family, and obviously I'm guessing there'll be black armbands at the weekend as well for him as well, for that respect.
Mm-hmm.
Sad time for the club, losing another great of the club, JP. We've lost a few in the last few years, and again, mate, I just hope that the fans can, the family can take some comfort from knowing that the fans will be there for them, the club will be there from them, and just best wishes to the family because it's a very, very sad time for them.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. I seen a tweet the other night. His son John Junior, Yogi Junior, as he's called, he'd put it on Twitter, just letting us know that his dad had suddenly passed away, and obviously the family would like a bit of time to be together and obviously respect their wishes and not to be hounded and not to be annoyed. And yeah, rest in peace, John, and obviously thoughts and prayers are with your family and your dear loved ones and your friends round about you. Maybe he's well loved, Ryan. You only need to go and look up some of the old Betty Old videos of him, and there was a night they done it at Baird's Bar. It's on YouTube, I think you can get it, and Big Yogi turns up and Betty he kind of starts to slag him, and there's a bit of banter back and forth, but no, he was well loved, and they were a family, Ryan. They were all like brothers, mate. They were that close through Big Joke. And my dad, I never had the privilege of seeing them, Ryan, but going with what they achieved and what their stats and everything, so you're potentially looking at probably the best club team there was at that in that era of football. Because my dad says it's the best club team he's ever seen, ever. So my dad was only 9 whenever they won the big game. And obviously they brought it home. He was with my granda. My granda took him to Celtic Park when the players came back. They were in the back of a dumper truck. That was what they paraded the trophy around Celtic Park, and the place was just a sea of green and white. You hear the stories and everything else. And anytime I had the privilege of meeting Yogi a couple of times, personally. I was always in a pub right enough, so I think he liked his socialising times as well, as much as he loves talking about his football. I did, like I say, I had the privilege of meeting him a couple of times, and he was just a big gentleman, a lovely man. So yeah, he'll be well remembered, I'm sure, by the club in the coming week or so. And obviously his family, I'd imagine, will be well looked after in terms of the Celtic support. And as you said, there'll be black armbands at the game at the weekend. So I'd imagine all that will take place, Ryan. And as I say, rest in peace to the good man himself. But no, it was quite a shame. I didn't even know that there was any issues with him, or I hadn't heard prior to it. And it wasn't long ago I'd seen a video of John, Jim Craig, Bobby Lennox, Carl McGregor, all standing at we had just been presented with a trophy. I think this was about 2 days after it, maybe. And they were all in one of the lounges at Celtic Park. It just goes to show that it wasn't that long ago, and they were talking about him in a past tense. So it's amazing how you just never know the minute, mate, and things can change so quickly. So I think it's just another message to send to people, just to enjoy life as best as you can, and love your family and love everybody that's round about you, and make the most of what you have. And maybe it's not worth moaning about things a lot of the time, and you just appreciate what's round about us and what we actually do have in terms of your individual family and friends and your circles. And yeah, just cherish everything you can and just enjoy what you do and the way you go about things, because you just never know the minute, mate. It's like that's a great message as to how things can change very quickly in your life. And one minute your dad or your grandpa might be here, and the next minute they're known. As much as we'd like to keep them around forever, obviously we realise as time goes and we start getting older that's just not possible, mate. So yes, that was a real shame to hear, mate. And as you said, another one of the greats has moved on now.
I would say that's well put, mate. Definitely, very well put, mate. As it's a sad time, mate, and these things are. It's never easy for anybody, especially when it's a part of the club and a great like that, a legend like that, who's like you say, is well loved and well thought of, and obviously not just that, a fantastic footballer. Obviously, I didn't see him play, but like you say, you hear the stories and you see the videos and you see the stats, and like you say, it's part of the, for me, probably the best club side ever, apart from this Barcelona team recently, probably the best club side at that time.
Yeah.
So, again, rest in peace, John, and we wish the fans, family and friends and Celtic family all the best. Going forward as well, JP, at the weekend, just overall, mate, last thoughts on the game and going forward?
Just obviously, I'd like to see you start the game a bit of tempo, because I think Ross County will find it very tough to live with that if we can. I know they've added to their squad, but they've lost a few players. I think they've lost that Regan Charles Cook. I don't think he's where I'm now, and I think he'll be a big loss to them because he scored quite a lot of goals last season for them. No, I want to see us kick on now, and our displays should be becoming a bit, as a team, become a bit more fitter together, playing football. The football fitness develops. I do think teams are going to find it. I've already told you that I think teams are going to find it really hard including that mob across the water to even live with, let alone anything else. I think it's another long week worth of training, another long week worth of Angie's ideas getting implemented, another long week of strategising and putting things into play. Because you can start to see wee things happening now and starting to change. And the tempo of the team has just risen significantly over the last few months now. You look at the tail end of last season now to now. So I want to see us kick on, get another 3 points, preferably another convincing victory. Another clean sheet would be nice as well, to be honest, just to keep that kind of going as well, because you get a couple of them flung together and before you know it, a wee bit of confidence starts creeping in with the team, and it doesn't matter whether it be Welsh or Barkas you're playing, your teams. I know Barkas isn't here, I'm using that as a wee joke, but it doesn't matter who comes in, is what I mean. The continuity's there and everybody's all feeling good. And no, I think we're at the stage now, Ryan, where our team's turning up the games. They know what's expected. Boys know the expectations. The games of them letting the fans down are always kind of like, I don't want to jinx this here, but they tend to be far and few between. But that's not to say it's football, Ryan, so that's not to say that no a disaster, but you know what I mean, an upset is no just round the corner, because they do happen every once in a while. But realistically, I think it's going to take a full Celtic team to come off the coach and just be there mentally for that to happen, especially on Saturday. Albeit the game's at 3 o'clock, I think that might be a good thing for us, because obviously the players then will already be up there and they'll be settled and ready to go. But no, I want to see us play at a tempo again. I want to see us play the way we can, and if we do, I don't think Ross County will be able to match that, right? Unfortunately, they just, in my opinion, they don't have the manpower to match it, mate.
I think you're saying spot on, mate. I just think if we turn up, like I say, mate, every game in Scotland, even against the dark side, if we turn up, we win the game. It's just, for me, as simple as that. We're the champions. We've got the best manager, the best squad. If we turn up, we win the game.
Yeah.
Like you say, these things don't always go to plan. It's football. You've no got a divine right to win the game. You need to play your strengths and hope the other team don't play well and you win the match. Like you say, it's going to, for us to lose a game, it's going to take 4 or 5 guys not to perform, and their levels go down. But if you've got 9 or 10 guys on it, it's curtains, isn't it? If you're on it and you're clinical, it's curtains, isn't it? I know that's a bit of Michael Owen saying there. If you score, you win. But if Celtic are own song, we're not going to concede goals. It's just going to be full attack. And Ross County, I think, will put up a challenge. But I think if you get an early goal within the first 10 minutes, I think it takes a wind out ourselves, and he can just kind of dominate the match. But again, last thought as well, obviously, rest in peace, John Hughes. Really sad to hear of the passing. Best wishes to the family and friends of John. And obviously, if you like the content, please subscribe to YouTube. You'll get a wee bell. Click on the wee bell when we go live. We're on Twitter, TikTok, and give me and JP a wee follow as well on the page. Just type in the name of the podcast. and you're all set to go. But again, JP, hail, mate, and hope for another 3 points weekend, and take care.